Welcome to Art in the Dark, Episode 2, where we discuss aspects of the world of art. Last time we dove into some creating of graffiti while talking about some stuff. And this time around, we're flipping the script. Tonight, we're flipping the script. Tonight, we're going to talk about some graffiti while making some stuff. Well, we might be making some graffiti. That's kind of up to you guys. But, yeah. And when I say graffiti, I'm talking about not specifically directly graffiti. We're going to do something a little different. We're going to talk about, I guess, the true origins of graffiti. Sort of. Ready to jump in? Well, hit the buttons and do the things, and let's start the show.
Art in the dark, art in the dark. It's time to let that creative energy spark. Art in the dark, art in the dark. Just put that digital pen on the mark. Art in the dark, art in the dark. With a little bit of humor and a little bit of snark. Art in the dark, art in the dark. Art in the dark, art in the dark. With your host Joseph Finchum. You all rock, you're all awesome, and together we'll make great art. Right here on.
Hey, that stopped early. That was weird. And I'm on the wrong channel. Hold on. Okay. Hiccups. Always hiccups. Dang gremlins. Okay, well that only stopped a little bit early, so I'm only a little fuzzled. Confused? Whatever. Linguistics be difficult. Okay, so for the project tonight, I can either do, the last time we did a graffiti piece, we did the hard one, and then later, on my own, I did the easy one, which I still have to edit the video of and put that up, but, so I have one left, which is the middle one, so we can either do that, or we can do, background music too. I know I forgot something. And let me know if you can actually hear it this time. If you can't, I'll turn it up. Okay, so it's the graffiti piece or like a cute kind of cartoony Halloween thing. So that's up to you guys. Let me know. And we'll get into something right away. So it's cute Halloween piece or more graffiti. Ah, Wildflower, you're on to me. Okay. Clark Fine Art wants Halloween. Wildflower is spooky. It's not really spooky, but there is a ghost. So we've got 2 votes for graffiti, for Halloween spooky. Let's go. Or did you mean spooky that you're on to me? Right now I'm going to take it as a vote for Halloween. Okay, so if we're going to do that, let's jump to the other screen. Sticking with that green theme. Last time it was red, this time it's green. I may be switching it up every time. We'll have to find out. Okay, so make sure I'm on my right tools. Change the color. I'm going to start with black just to like sketch it out, and then we can fix it later. Okay, so my basic idea, this is going to be terrible. A pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern. Give him a little thingy in here. Some eyes. A mouth. And then So I may want to make him a wider pumpkin. He'll have, you know, some lines to help define what he is. We'll fix it in post. Alright, so now up here, you know what, that's too big. So, yeah. Kinda, this is what we're going for. And then back here. How do I want to make him? I want him to kind of go behind the cats. So, just gonna go. I'm just gonna draw through it, because this is just sketching it out. And they're gonna have big old eyes. I don't want a lot of detail here. Like I said, it's supposed to be cartoony and cutesy. This should be rounded. Okay, so let me figure out how I'm supposed to do this here. Oh, that shouldn't be up there. Okay. So I'm going to continue drawing, but we're going to discuss stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to lock that layer. Well, before I lock it, I need to bring the opacity way down so that I just have a sketch of it. A light sketch of it. Why won't you move? There we go. Okay, now. Lock it. There we go. Okay, new layer. Okay, so. Now, in my opinion, graffiti is actually the first form of any communication ever. Some of the oldest graffiti ever known to man and ever found by man has been handprints. Handprints with like a spray of paint, which was most likely spit onto the wall and not like dabbed with a brush or something, but just put in their mouth and pleh. Now, some guy is sitting there and he puts his hand against the wall and maybe he's chewing up and making paint because there were other things painted around them, but he's chewing up paint and maybe he sneezes and achoo, he sprays his hand and he pulls his hand away and there's the handprint. And he's like, you know what? You know what? That's me. That symbolizes me. And that's the first graffiti. Because what is graffiti? It's making marks that often identify that someone was somewhere. It's, look, I was here. I was here. And that's what these handprints are. You know, and of course, other people follow. So, is the music too loud? I forgot to ask. I mean, I didn't forget to ask. I didn't see if you guys answered. But, yeah. Because it was too loud for me, so I just turned it down because I might have been yelling a little bit. So the handprints. So one guy makes a handprint and says, look, that's me. And other people come in and go, hey, look, that's Bob. Or Ungadunga. Whatever a caveman's name was. Maybe it was Bob. We don't know. So what happens? Other people start doing it. And next thing you know it, you have a wall full of handprints. And everybody's there. Is it just the immediate family? Is it other people? We don't know. But that's where graffiti started. It was, to me, that's where it started, and that's what it did. And it evolved over the years. And of course, more and more stuff turns up the further along you go. Like there's a Greek one, I think it's Greek. This thing, I think, this actually became like a cryptic thing, you know, like a puzzle solving thing at some point. Like they named one after it, and this is basically because it's 5 words repeated in every direction: up, down, left, right. Yeah, and it says Sator Arepo Tenet Opera Rotas, which roughly translates to Arepo the idiot is using wheels. So somebody thought it was silly that Arepo was using wheels. At least that's what most people have said they think it means. Which is funny. I mean, there's a lot of Greek and Roman graffiti that is actual graffiti that I can't show here because they like their phallic symbols a little too much. A little too much for me and for YouTube. So, I mean, but the fact that up, down, left, right, Sator, Rotas, Arepo, Opera, it works. So, and then, you know, you had Egyptians. There was graffiti in Egypt, and I don't mean the hieroglyphs. The hieroglyphs are definitely kind of like graffiti. They're using pictures to tell words, but it was a form of language. And in their temples and things, people carved things like this. In the Temple of Apophis, somebody drew a picture of Seti, which would have been a no-no. That's like a high insult. So and even in Korea, it's hard to see, but carved into the wall there, you know, you have someone tagging their name. I don't know what this one says. I could not find anything about it to say what it says, but yeah, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years old, someone was like, hey, I was here. And that's what graffiti is. And even when they came to the New World, someone got off the boat and was like, hey, I came here by a boat. So it happens all the time. And that's what I think is the true nature and beginning of graffiti. Okay, so now I need to work on this drawing a little bit more and get things a little bit better planned out. Now, is that all of what graffiti is? No. There's art too. And I'm not talking about... I don't want to bring up the history of like the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, because you can already go and look at documentaries of that. Mostly I just wanted to bring up the fact that I think cave paintings, especially specifically the handprint, is the first real graffiti ever made. Just working on these kitties a little bit. Trying to fix a few things while I go. And you can't see it, I know. Probably couldn't even see me there for a second. I'm still getting used to this whole tablet thing. So, now, what I do want to bring up though is tagging. And let me go back to this for a second so you can see where I'm at and what I'm doing. Tagging, a lot of people will say that tagging is not art. And most of the time, yeah, there's a lot of vandalism going on with tagging. But it's necessary. And I'm going to tell you why it's necessary. Because tagging is sketching. You wouldn't tell somebody, go out and become a great painter, but never learn how to draw. Never learn how to sketch. You wouldn't do it. It just wouldn't make any sense. So you have to, you have to say, hey, you're gonna need to practice your writing. You're gonna need to tag. Now, do you have to do it before you have style? No, you shouldn't. That's bad. That's being a toy. You don't want to be a toy. So, tagging is a necessity, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be just garbage. It doesn't have to. Doesn't have to make people look at it and be like, this. I mean, if you tag with some style, most people will stop and cut. Wow, that's an interesting way they wrote that, So, hi, Simone Mack. I haven't welcomed anybody. Clark Fine Art, thank you for being here, of course. Simone Mack, Starving Artist, The Other Tara, Boo Peep, Wildflower. Is that it? Snow S, if you're still here. Thank you all for joining me. So we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna work on this spooky Halloween drawing. Okay, so the cats are on the pumpkin, so that's why I put them there first. And these are gonna be filled in. Let's see if I can even do that. Magic wand. Ooh. What? That should not have moved. Let me... Where are their holes? Maybe that'll work. Let's find out. And now, brush. I'm still on black. That's good. Bigger. Okay. Back to the small brush, and let me bring the other layer back. And you know what? I think I've confused my kitties. I gotta picture it in my head. Okay, so I need to separate them. Okay, so now that I have them on different layers, hey, no, what happened there? Okay, I'm gonna have to erase their tails and do them again because that is no good. Oh, I need to go a little bigger here. Even bigger so we can get rid of this fast. Okay, this will make more sense in a minute. Okay, so let me put those back into the same layer and start drawing again. So I want to bring that down a little. Tail comes up and comes out. If you didn't know, oh, that didn't go to the right spot. When a cat's tail is bent, it's usually because it's apprehensive. Just in case you wanted to know that. Alright, let's see if this will work. Nope. How did I get on everything? Nope. I gotta... I need to close this up. Why are you not drawing? Whatever's selected, deselect it. There we go. But I do want to get into there. Try and get rid of some of this artifacting going on in there. This may work, it may not. Brush, back to my brush. Larger. I'm gonna try that again. That is so large. Okay. So yeah, so tagging is necessary. That's what I was getting at. People may not like it, but it is necessary. You know, It's just the way it is. Three tentacles forward. Thank you for joining me, and yes, that is awesome. Legal spots and really good chill spots are the best. If you want to be able to practice to your heart's content, legal spots are the way to go. I prefer legal spots. There are not many where I live. It is in New York, you know. They tend to frown on graffiti in all sorts. There are some places that you can go where there are free walls, but most of them are like, hey, you're gonna have to show us some work and, you know, prove that your graffiti is good enough to go on our walls where people can see it. So there are drawbacks to legal spots. And, you know, so in Europe, what is it? There's a place in Belgium, I think it's Ghent, Belgium, where they basically were like, okay, here's the deal. Graffiti's getting out of control in our city. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to make graffiti legal, but in only one alleyway. And it worked. People will go to that alleyway pretty much every day and put up brand new pieces that are amazingly beautiful and super technical, and yeah, they look amazing. Okay, so we got the cats done. Yes, Wildflower said graffiti is art, but that doesn't make it okay to put it where people have not consented to see it. Various levels of acceptability. Yes, and there are rules in graffiti, and people who break the rules, they're toys. No one likes a toy. But the rules are basically, you know, no schools, no churches, or no schools, no places of worship. What's the other one? And basically no private property. You should never be painting on someone's house, their fence, their car. You know, if a car has been sitting out there in the woods for 2 years, feel free to spray paint on that. I don't care. But if you don't walk into someone's driveway and paint on their car. That's no. So, yeah. Follow the rules. So, okay, back to my small brush. And we gotta get some more of this pumpkin in here. And I'm gonna put him on another layer. Because I generally don't, and I'm terrible at it. Okay, so. Start it right around here. We're gonna come all the way through. I don't want them to be perfectly round. I'm trying to give them some shape. That little hook at the end was a little weird, but okay. And then up into his thing. Okay. Good shape. Now, the way I normally do it, I don't even know if this is actually how pumpkins grow, but to make the top, what I always do is I follow my guidelines. So this one would come out here and come down there, but it's hidden by that cat. So the next one's gonna come down like this and come back up here and go up and in. And then we're gonna make another one up and in. Make another one up and in. And this also gives you texture in your pieces. There's one more over here. Nice and simple. Now to get these eyes better. Do I want pupils in them, or do I want... Let's see. That's about center, so I'm going to try and center it a little bit more too. So I'll start this here. And you know what? Just to make it easy on myself. No. You can't see my menus again. I hate that. But you probably saw that move. Come on. I'm on 2 layers, that's why. Yeah, that'll work. And back to my brush. Okay, how do I want to get this thing here? Yes, wildflower. Heaven spots. That's what they call them, heaven spots. Because, you know, it's a dream and a goal to get there, so heaven spot. And also, if you fall, that's where they think you'll go. And, you know, I'm going to jump ahead for a second here, and I'm going to show you, there was a guy just recently here in New York, who, his moniker, his tag is Rams. And Rams got in a spot. There he is. That's him rappelling down the side of a building. I forget. I think it's like it's on the corner of 45th Street maybe and something. And before the pandemic, they were building this high rise, and they got like 2/3 of it done. And then the pandemic hit and they just stopped. And since then, it's never been restarted. So it's I think 30 floors of finished high-rise skyscraper, and then 15 floors of just cement. And he got multiple sides. He didn't just get one, he got all 4 sides in these crazy spots. And that's a view of what the top of the building looks like. So, yeah. He got up there. And I can't figure out which buttons to press. There we go. Okay. So, I was going to bring that up later, but right now is okay. Because Wildflower brought it up first. Yeah, and it's, people think, you know, how difficult it is to rappel down from there. But it's not just that. Generally, these kind of places have security. And, you know, you have to... Oh, the fire extinguisher art, I do not like that. I do not condone that. That's too much. And it's always ugly. I've never seen one look good. So, yeah, Wildflower, that's no good. And where did you say you were from? Portland. Yeah, okay. So, Portland, it's pretty bad in Portland. There's a whole documentary about how bad it is in Portland with the graffiti. Right here on YouTube. Go watch it. Later, not now. Excuse me. Okay, so, let's go back to my little guy here. And I'm on the wrong layers, probably. Yep. Nope. Grab that one. And we're going to fill it in. Wait, I don't want it that color. That's gonna have some glow to it, I think. So let's not do that. Deselect that. I was gonna do the mouth. Okay, so this is the other eye. Let me merge those two layers so I know those are the eyes. I should be naming my layers. I'm not. Yeah, you gotta climb all the way up there, do everything without getting caught, or without anyone seeing you, then climb all the way back down and get out without help and by yourself. So you gotta carry all your paints, you gotta carry your repelling gear, that's a lot of stuff you gotta do to get to something like that. So I give those guys some credit. It's still crazy. They're nuts for doing it. More power to them. Not for me, but yeah. Okay, back to this. Pumpkin. We're drawing the mouth here. Okay, I'm on the wrong size brush.
Just can't wait till it gets late. I want to make some art right here now in the dark. Time to let go, to take it slow. On a journey we embark, a trip through art in the dark.
I gotta learn to draw in the other direction because I can't see where I'm going. Okay. So the eyes and mouth are on a... No, they're not on a different layer. Dang it. One day I'll figure all this stuff out and do it right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, pumpkin. That's this layer, and I just want to fill this in. If I tap it too hard, it always moves. There is some stuff selected here I do not want selected, so let's try and take that out. It's because of up here. Yeah, I knew that wasn't working right. Maybe all I need is over here.
I'm in the dark, I'm in the dark, I'm in the dark, I'm in the dark. We're in the dark, we're in the
I don't want any of this. Okay, so that's where it is. Sorry about this. Okay, that should be enough. All I want to do is now color this orange. Let's find a good orange. Good pumpkin orange. Brush. Bigger. You know what? I'm gonna skip the glow because the glow always takes too much time, and we'll just fill this in black. We'll make it super simple. Okay, I know what I did wrong. So, while I'm coloring this, we basically talked about most of what I wanted to talk about, which went way further than, of course, I thought it would. We're just going to do that. Okay, back to my pumpkin. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to get a lighter, slightly more yellow. And that's what I'm going to use for the lines in the pumpkin. Like I said, nice and simple. Three tentacles forward. I never remember to name my layers. I do, but I usually do it afterwards and sit there and go through and just, what is this? What's on this? Oh, that's what's on this? Okay, let me name it. I used to rappel for safety and for rock climbing. I haven't gone rock climbing in years. I really should get back into it. It's good exercise. Works every muscle in your body. Okay, so a new layer. Deselect that stuff. Back to my small brush. Okay, so there's. Oop, I forgot to switch my color. Like I said, super simple pumpkin. Not going for... He's got a weird little twist to his face. Because he's an evil pumpkin. Yeah. Okay. Go back over here. Okay, so some of the artists that I really admire, and when I say graffiti artists, I mean guys who are specifically still graffiti, not street art. Street art is a different flavor altogether. You know, Banksy is not a graffiti artist, he's a street artist. He does graffiti-ish type stuff, but it's not really graffiti. He's not writing his name most of the time. I don't think I've ever seen like an actual Banksy art graffiti piece, or you know, even a throwy. So who knows? But guys, I mentioned a few YouTubers in the last video, the last Art in the Dark, and I mentioned, I believe, Smonova, who is really, really good. He's got really good can control, and his murals are pretty damn good, as well as his lettering. I mentioned 1000. Smonova's from Germany. 1000's from America. I believe he's originally from Michigan or Detroit, that Michigan area. But yeah, so he is also more. I do big artsy mural type things. I don't think he actually tags, doesn't use a name per se, but his videos are really engaging, and he kind of, for me, his videos make me want to watch them. even if I don't like the art, because sometimes I'm like, I could take that one or leave it. So, who knows? But yeah, he's good. And Doke. Doke is, I believe, from Slovakia, and he's pretty good too. But the cool thing about Doke is you basically, if you go to his channel, and go to the oldest videos, you're basically following him from starting to where he is now. But guys that I like, who have also, some of them have gotten super famous, some of them are not. I'm going to start with a guy called Dame. And the first time I saw Dame, he was already doing stuff like this. The use of three-dimensional space in the drawings is what really attracted me to him. To the way he did it. And I've done a few pieces kind of in his style. Well, not his style, but in that three-dimensional style like that. But like the way things move in and out of each other, like he really nails it. Some aren't my favorites, but you can still see what he's getting at. You can see the letters if you look closely. His stuff gets way more complicated and way more hard to read. So, like this one. This one's hard to read if you don't already read graffiti. But the style, you can see, like, the red and the black and the gray and the white. Yeah. You can see where some of my YouTube influences come from. Boo Peep? Depends. Is the stencil made from something they drew? Then I would say that that it is directly art. I mean, even if it isn't. I mean, if you found a picture and cut it out and mixed it with other things, I mean, it really depends on how you do it. If they're literally just taking a silhouette of something off of the internet, cutting it out in a shape and going to a wall and then spray painting it, I would say no. That I would say no. But that's my opinion. We need a lesson reading, I think. Well, I don't know if I could even show you. There's no way for me to, unless I loaded it into Photoshop, which I could probably do. I haven't saved this yet either, so let me do that. Hold on a second here. Okay. Okay, so with this on the screen, it might be a little too small. So the way he does it is you probably won't even realize it, and I could be wrong, because sometimes these are so hard to see that you can get them wrong. But I'm gonna give it a try. So chances are, wow, this one is tough. I mean, this is the I, and that's the M. This is the A, and this is probably the D. So it's D-A-I-M. But that's the idea, is to kind of disguise it, because You know, you're not trying to impress the general public. You're trying to impress other writers, other graffiti artists, you know? And if they can read it, then it's good for you to be able to read it. Okay, back to where we were. Okay, we got him done. Not done, but let's see if I can give the stalk some color. I am on the wrong layer. There we go. This is why you should name your layers. That did not grab the whole pumpkin, did it? No, that grabbed the black. That's what it did. That'll work. What color do we want here? See if we can go like a dark greenish gray to start. And then we'll give it some highlights later. Okay, back to... Nope. I gotta remember to turn them off again. Like this one. This one, you might be able to see it. The D starts where like the first little yellow hooky looking thing is, then the A. The I is kind of like the bubbly, it's like a bubbly thing and something on it, and then the M comes off to the right. He's good. He is one of my favorite three-dimensional artists. And normally, you know, I would try and do stuff like that, but the stuff like that takes a really long time to sketch out. I don't know how he could paint that. I mean, without all the time in the world, which I'm sure he has, because most of his stuff like that, most of this stuff that he's doing lately is legal, and he's doing it like in a gallery somewhere. So he's just building a wall and then painting on it. Or they built a wall and want him to paint on it. One of those things. Yeah, there is a name in there. So now, the next guy I'm gonna hit on is a guy named, I think his real name is Guillermo, but something like that. He goes by Maxer or Max242, and he has gone from graffiti artist to he does posters and stuff, you know, for like bands, and like this is one of his murals on a wall somewhere. And I like his use of color, or in this case, the absence of color, and then the use of color. You know, some of his work is phenomenal. I don't like everything he does. He likes sports. I'm not a big sports guy, so sometimes he does sports-centric pieces, and I'm not really into that kind of thing. But like, this is a cool piece. This, grow together a bunch of sunflowers. It's beautiful. I could picture that on a wall pretty much anywhere. And people would say, yes, that's art. They wouldn't say, that's graffiti. You know? This is, I believe it's for a company, and it's on the side of the company. Vader in the broken helmet with Anakin kind of in the background. It was for a Star Wars promotion thing, I'm sure. But he did it, and it looks really cool. Which one was that? Yeah, okay. And now, the way I found him was through 311. He did a poster for 311. He's actually done a lot of posters for 311. I have at least 2 of them. but they're not in the frames right now. They're rolled up in tubes. I only have 2 frames in my room on my wall next to my TVs, and every now and then I cycle my band posters and stuff. You know, keep the room fresh. But like this one was for a Halloween show, and it's cool. 311 has a lot of like talk about aliens and togetherness and unity, and their #1 album ever is called Transistor, so you can kind of see where he pulled the ideas from. You have an alien, you have a pumpkin because it's Halloween, you got 2 people like hanging out together, and you have a transistor with like a guy meditating in it, like giving it its power. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like his work. And here is another one. I believe this is him. I could be wrong. If it may have been listed wrong, I'm not sure. This is because it's one I don't own, but it does feel like his style to me. And you know, that the idea of togetherness, and this one I would say probably not togetherness, but wanting to be together again, maybe. And this is not spray paint, but it's just his work. I like his work and the style he does. When I say that I want to make things look more illustrated instead of less real, his work is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Okay, we need to get some work done on this. Okay, so now, small brush. Make sure I'm on black. Okay, so now our ghost is going to come down like this. I just drew right over that pumpkin, so I want this in the back, so I'm going to make another new layer, the ghost layer that I will not name. Okay, so gotta give them some wrinkles in there. Okay, so now all I want to do here, now I'm gonna have to go up to a layer above the cats, and how should I do this? Okay, to make it more visible, I'm gonna pick a bright freaking color, and I'm on the right layer. Okay, so I don't like that shape. I want it to be a little bit more swoopy. Yeah, that's good. And then one over here, because the ghost is like giving him a hug. He's hugging the 2 little kitties. So what I'll do now is I will select inside of those spots. I will create yet another layer, hide that layer, go back to white, and back to my brush. I'm gonna have to put some color in the background. I can definitely change the color of the background. Just for the purposes of right now, I am going to make it a dark purple. Make sure I got all of that. Okay. Where is my ghost layer? That's this layer, I believe. Okay, we need to fill in our ghost if we can. Nope. I did not connect everything. So let me go back to my brush again and change back to the right size brush. Deselect. Okay, so hopefully that'll do it. Magic wand. There we go. Back to white. Back to the brush. Make it larger. And remember, you guys voted for this. Sort of. 2 people voted for this. That sounds about right. 1950. But that doesn't mean that's when graffiti started. I mean, a lot of people will say graffiti started in the 70s with Cornbread and like guys like Cornbread, who was from, I believe, Philadelphia, and Taki 183, who was from New York. And they were like really the first people that started getting noticed. Like, hey, I've been seeing that name everywhere, and I don't know why. Why are people writing this name everywhere? So, you know, but that's not where graffiti started. Graffiti started in the cave with the handprint. Okay, we need to give this ghost some big eyes, so I'm going to put it on the same layer as the hands, which could use a little work. They're a little skimpy. And maybe just want to flush them out a little bit. You know what? Hold on. Back to the ghost layer. Smaller brush. Bring this into view. Deselect. There we go. Should only need to color this in where nothing already is. And clean these edges up a bit. If you're digging any of the music, I've made it all with AI. So, there's that. Switch back to black. Am I on the big brush? Bigger-ish brush. I accidentally clicked the button on the pen and sent myself into the eraser. Oh, those are completely different sizes. That's better. Fill this in. And you know, YouTube has its rules about music, so I've been trying to make my own music for YouTube. And technically, you know, the other company, the company that I made the songs on, technically they own these. So let me zoom in a bit here. Just gonna cut out a little wedge in here on both eyes. On here, I missed a spot there. I don't know if that'll look good or not. We'll find out when I shrink it down. Yeah, it's not bad. And we're just gonna give them a little. I should have. No. Let me get closer. I just want to have a little smiley smirk. My hand bounced a little bit. There we go. Okay. These cats need some eyes. Go back to the white. I'm going to go back to the cat layer. Just in case, I'll put them on a new layer. Alright, let me go back over to this screen. Okay, so the next guy. I think I also mentioned him in the last video, but this time I'm actually going to show you some stuff by him. Crayola. If you haven't heard of Crayola, Greg Simpkins, he's here on YouTube. He's also on Instagram. Does amazing work. His graffiti started like stuff like this. And you might be able to see it in there. CRAOLA. That's how he spells it. No Y. But I like his use of color and the way he kind of like doesn't stick to one color. Like he'll often throw things in there that are just slightly a little different, you know? So like in this one, it's like CR and then the A is blue and then OLA is normal. And then he has like the blue arrow coming off down at the bottom. I like the way he does stuff like that. And now this one, yeah. I mean, you can see it if you're looking for it. The C is in the spot all the way to the left where there's like bubbly stuff. The R is kind of that shoomp move. The A is the big bubbly thing, the big white bubbly thing. It's hard to read, but it's meant to be. I don't know if, like, what he was going for with this one, but I'm guessing something kind of like techno-organic-y. And the reason my little Halloween thing has cats in it is because I am a cat. I am a fancy cat gentleman, as they say, instead of a crazy cat lady. It could be the O, but I'm... Let me look. Yeah, that's the O. The problem is that, like, when I was looking at them, I could clearly read them when they were big on my screen, and now that I'm showing them to you on a little... I'm showing them to you, the screen I'm looking at is a quarter of my monitor, so I can no longer see them as well as I could. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the R is the orange spot with some of the orange at the bottom. Yeah, the A is a mystery. But that definitely the O, and then the L is directly after it. It's kind of more like a scripty L, like yeah. That was this one. See, like, here is where I'm talking about, like, yeah, why do it all like a matching color? Let's make every single letter something completely different. And you can see how this slowly influences him into the style of art that he's making today. Because, like, that O and the, like, cracks in the O, like, he's definitely, you see, he's starting to experiment with realism. This is a mural. He also, as well as doing the you know, the realism stuff, he also does, like, the cartoony stuff. And, like, he definitely seems to have an affinity for older, like, black and white kind of cartoons, like the original Mickey Mouse kind of character, which is kind of what he's basing that loosely off of. And the house thing on the right side, I think for you it should be the right side unless this is wrong. But this is him and someone else, I believe, or it's him doing his name and someone else's name. I don't know the stuff, the facts behind it. I just know the images, and I like them. Alright, now this one, again, he's got my 2 thumbs up for the color scheme. Black, white, red, gray. Those are my colors. I love those colors. C is clearly the C. The R is the splattery red. A up top. O in the middle. Big L. A kind of hiding in the background. The more you look at it, the easier it is to see. Here's a picture of him actually doing one of his pieces. If it looks weird on your screen, if you're on a big screen, it probably looks a little weird because I had to use an AI upscaler to make this picture even visible. It didn't affect the graffiti very much, but on him, it like drew lines on his pants that weren't there. Like it illustrated it, you know, and gave it a black outline like a comic book. Very strange. And it doesn't know what to do with tattoos at all. And there's another one like that somewhere. So we'll get it. this one, I love the idea. When he does a piece that uses the Crayola colors, that's a real slap in the face to them, I assume. I don't know. But I assume they probably do not like that. What am I doing here? I'm adding pupils to the kitty cats who are looking on in disbelief. Yeah. So, yeah, and like the way the L kind of sticks out as its own little character, it's cool. I like that kind of stuff. This one is also using the Crayola, you know, pencils, markers there. Tugboat Willie. Thank you. That's who I was thinking of. I think it's either Tugboat Willie or Felix the cat. I can't remember. The gray behind the orange, near the sea on the last one. They are very interesting for sure. Yeah, it's your goal is basically to make it legible enough for someone who has trained themselves to read it to be able to read it, but really hard for anyone who isn't trained to see it. And like nowadays you have cops out there who like truly study graffiti to figure out who you are so they can arrest you and charge you with every single thing you've ever done. They do that kind of stuff. Felix had crazy eyes, yes. Well, I try to know what I'm talking about. And with graffiti, like, I'm not going out, I'm not doing missions overnight and running around and doing everything I can. I do a piece here and there when I get the chance. I've done, mostly my work is people going, hey, that's kind of cool. Could you do that on the wall of my apartment? Like with my name. And I'm like, sure, I can do your name on the wall of your apartment. No problem. But then I get to sign it with my name. That makes it fun. And like I said in the last video, I do sometimes go out and do a piece, and it's not often, but I do it. And when I do it, I do not use the name that I use on YouTube. I use a completely different name. When I tag, if I tag, like, it's not what I'm using here. I'm not gonna project my crimes to the world. That's a dumb idea in New York where it's highly illegal. Again, before I was talking about the rules, you know, no places of worship, no schools, no private property. Another thing that they will say is, where was I going with this? What was I just talking about? Wow, total brain fart. What the hell was I thinking? I'm gonna go back to this while I think. I thought it was off of something one of you guys said, but I can't. Yeah, people asking you to work on their property. Yeah, damn. Yeah, the unwritten rules is what I was getting to. I was thinking of another one, but I'm just drawing a blank now. I don't know what the heck I was gonna say. Anyway, so we can see where this thing is getting. He's just a cute little cartoon. I am going to try and fix that little speck there by the trunk, if I can. What layer is that on? Ooh, there we go. Just clean up some of these spots that shouldn't even be there. I don't care if there's a little spillage of color, because that happens on some cartoony, like, cards and stuff. Lets you know it was actually drawn. That was not what I wanted to do. Okay, we try and get a slightly darker version of this color. And I'm just gonna try and put some of that in here. I'm on the wrong layer. Mhm. And now I'm just gonna go a little bit lighter. And I'm gonna go to a better brush, a softer brush, and we're gonna give it some highlights. Just want this to have a little bit more texture to it. Especially this side, because it's bigger. Maybe a little bit more in the light. And small brush. Go back to pure white. You know what? That's their little toes. See if I can do some whiskers here. I do want to put his nose. There we go. He's coming along pretty good. Cute little bugger. Okay, so pumpkin needs some shadow. Let's see what we can do here. I'll clean this up a bit. That was not a good job tracing. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I don't want to darken it too much. So I'm going to back to my brush. I'm going to make it bigger. I'm going to bring the opacity down, the flow down, and that needs to be even bigger. Okay, where were we? Crayola. So, this is him doing some of the stuff he does now. And you can see how far this man has come in his painting. This picture was also AI enhanced, so do ignore the weird thing going on his chin, like mouth area, and his tattoos, because it screwed them all up. Everything else looks fine. But yeah, like his work is phenomenal. And his realism, I don't know how he does it. He gets things to look way better than I think I will ever be able to do. That was 8. Yeah. Like, this is a piece, you know, he's like a member of or works with the Audubon Society, so big on birds. He's been doing these pieces that look like, you know, broken walls, and actually doing pieces on broken walls. They're supposed to look unimpressed. I just saw that comment. They're supposed to look like, why are you touching us? If you were talking about the drawing. The silly little drawing. Yeah, and this is the like latest piece I know he did. Like, he will do something that I've done, but not nearly as well as he has, wherein he will use 3D programs like Cinema 4D or Blender or Maya. I don't know which one he uses. I use Cinema 4D, but like the teapot looking thing or water pot pitcher, whatever you want to call that thing, like he modeled that in 3D so that he could paint it to look exactly the way he wanted it. Yeah, and like the mixture of the captain, you know, with like the Trix rabbit, and then the bird looks like it's just sitting there, like that's just a chunk of rock that somebody put there with that painting on it, and the bird's sitting on top of it, and the fish, I don't get the fish. Lisa would probably love the fish. And the shark swimming in the little puddle of water. I mean, like, some of his work is amazing. Was that 10? Nope. And here's an old piece that I missed. I meant to hit this one earlier. But this is like a full long, like 6 foot by like 50 foot wall or something like that. So, yeah. Those are some of the guys that I really admire. There are other people on YouTube who are pretty good. I'm gonna try and turn off that sketch layer on here, and I kind of want to give the whole thing a drop shadow. Let me go back here. Okay. Big, soft brush. Let me go here first. No, I want it more. That should do it. And I have to go another new layer. Back to the brush. Much bigger, much bigger. Probably too big, but we'll see. See, I'm imagining this as like a little Halloween card. Cute little Halloween card. And what I'm gonna do here it's not gonna let me do that because there's too many layers. Oh, that's the green. I don't need that anymore. Let me get rid of that layer. Trying to think if it needs anything more. Yeah. And I still haven't figured out what I was trying to remember. The unwritten rule that I couldn't remember. Dang. I'm getting old. Alright. Anything left in here? I have one picture left, really. If you live in the LA area and you want to know who's big in graffiti now, you go and you find these two buildings. Because they're covered from, you know, ground to roof. I don't know where they are. I've seen pictures of these buildings forever. In New York, there's a place called 5 Points. There's a brewery over in that area, but 5 Points is just a building that, you know, there's like warehouse and something inside of it, but one graffiti guy, I think it's, I don't know if you say it Mears or Meris, M-E-R-E-S, that's his, you know, graffiti name, and he basically struck a deal with the landlord that said, like, hey, You know, I will curate every piece that goes on it, and you'll only get the best of the best from around New York, and we'll cover the whole building in graffiti, and it's been going for years and years and years and years and years and years and years. So a lot of big cities have places. Like in California, you know, there's legal walls everywhere in California. A lot of the LA River, I believe, is legal. Venice Beach has a bunch of those weird wavy walls and crooked walls and stuff. So they have a lot of places. But every big city, Austin, Texas, has like some big walls and things. So, you know, big cities generally tend to have a lot of places for you to go and learn legally if you would like to. But it's always good to start off in a black book, get yourself a sketchbook, learn to write before you go out and write. Please. You're in the middle of a forest in Canada. You want to practice? Here's what you do. Find yourself 2 pine trees, go to a store, or go to, if you can find a warehouse, if you're anywhere near a warehouse, go to the warehouse, buy from them a roll of their, like, you know, the thick saran wrap that they wrap pallets in. Find yourself 2 trees and wrap them. You can make it 6 foot high by however long it is between the 2 trees. Boom, you have yourself an instant wall, and when you're done, you can actually cut it down, roll it up, and bring it home. Well, once it's dry. But you can do it. I've seen it done. If you want it to be solid, you put cardboard in between it. That's it. I mean, is it permanent? No. It's definitely not archival. Who was saying goodnight? I live in a gang in Junction area, and I definitely don't get the quality of art on my garage, something like that. It moved. Is it Boo Peep? Is it against the rules to paint over someone else's work? There is a rule about that. The basic rule of thumb for that is paint only do a better piece over another piece. So if somebody walks over, takes their can and just, blah, here's my name, okay, you can do something over that like a throwy, which is, you know, like a bubbly letter kind of thing. And then someone else can come and do something better over that, and better over that. If you do go over someone else's piece, you want to do what they call, you want to buff it out. You want to paint over the wall completely, or completely over their piece, so that nothing of their work shows underneath your work. If you just do your name over somebody else's artwork, that's like a diss. You know, that's you saying like, I don't like your work and I don't like you and blah blah blah. And people go back and forth and battle over spots and places. And yeah, so, you know, striking someone out, writing over their thing badly is, it's uncouth. It's bad sportsmanship, basically. But as long as you can do something better, you should be welcome to do it. You don't want to paint over like memorial pieces. Like if somebody does a big giant mural type thing that's like rest in peace somebody, and you paint over that, you're gonna have some trouble. People are gonna come looking for you. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, I just remembered the thing. Commercial property, commercial content. originally, I know it gets out of control out there nowadays, but like billboards and signage, things where, like, when you take the train, there's probably on the railings, of the walkway next to the train, there's like big poster size things, or billboards, or even on the highway, there's big billboards, and those things are put up there. That's not your consent. You didn't say, "Hey, I want to see, a giant Walmart ad on the side of the road." So those are always open game. In my opinion, anything commercial like that is always open game. Have at it. Because, you didn't ask, no one asked for giant billboards to be taking up the scenery and, being in your eye line, so to speak. That was the other thing. There are no billboards allowed in Maine? That must be super awesome. That's kind of like in Argentina. In Argentina, you can't put like lettering on the side of a building. So, like, if you have like a Chase Bank in Argentina, it's basically, you're going to paint your whole building blue, and you're going to like paint on that logo that they use, that like octagon shaped logo, and they're going to work that into the design, but you may not even use the whole thing, and that's how you're going to identify yourself as a Chase Bank. You cannot put a big sign that says Chase Bank. And I think that's brilliant, and it makes their country extremely colorful. Mm-hmm. Hawaii and Vermont too. That's cool. You can't get away from them here. Like, they're on regular highways, not even like state throughways, but like the dinky highways have billboards. Okay, so my ghost needs a little bit of some, I don't know if I want to call it shading, but maybe. Just so you know, he's a sheet. A sheet ghost. And I think it was funny when I first came on to like start setting up, and I saw Starving Artists comment about the naughtiness is coming. I don't think I'm ever going to be too naughty here. You may get some words out of me, but that's about it. And oh wow, I think my music ended. So I'm going to have to restart it from the beginning. How long have I been going? I don't even know. What time is it? Okay, that's about right. So yeah. So, let me jump to another screen. Okay. Stop. Stop. Tell me all of these just started playing. It's a good thing they don't all have music. Okay. Okay, so some other things you can find on YouTube. I want to throw this in at the end here. Shouldn't take too long, but there's some video that I'll show you. This one guy, again, I don't know how you say it. I just say it the way I would read it, which is SOFLES, SOFLES, or SOFLES. He makes videos with a director and the director is kind of in charge of the photography and the video. And I love the way that these specific videos, there's a bunch of them by him and these other people and the director, whatever. Here, check this out. Let me know what you think. Because this is like what they would call a mission. A mission is either going to one place and doing a bunch of stuff, or going out overnight and doing a bunch of stuff in a lot of different places. You know, taking your time to do a lot of pieces in one place. But the way the camera moves, like I can't even figure out how they do this, because it's time lapse, but the camera's moving and it's very weird. And just when you think they're done, they just move on to another spot. I mean, it's brilliant video editing. Thank you, Boo Peep. I make all my own backgrounds. I made a whole bunch of them. I use them now and then that are all red, white, black, and gray. Those are my colors. But since I've been doing this thing with the lights in here and the colors, I figured now I'm just going to make them green so that they're the background. But so like next week, if it's blue, this background will be the same background, but it'll be blue. Not next week, next month. This is a once a month show for now, unless I get really good at doing them. Okay, so I don't want to keep playing the videos. There's copyright and stuff. But here's another one from that same guy and the director. This one's called Castaway. The first one was called Infinite. This one's called Castaway. It's like he washes up on the beach and then just goes and starts tagging everything. I cannot. Words are hard. But yeah, you see the way they just keep moving through stuff, and then boom, he's there and he's painting. And as they get closer, he moves somewhere else. Like, and the pieces are really good. Everything is good. I would see Boo Peep. I was thinking the same thing, that it's probably like done in the editing software, but there's so much movement, like because like the buildings and the trees and everything else is also moving in 3D, so the camera has to be moving all the time. But there's no, as far as I can tell, there's no rails or anything, unless it's just a person like walking around really, really slowly the entire time. I don't know. Ooh, forgot to change the color. And put it back to this. Bring my opacity back up. Okay. But yeah, and they usually finish on a big piece, so yeah. Now this is a guy called RASKO, R-A-S-K-O, and I have linked to these videos and others, so, and a few documentaries. I linked to a few documentaries about the near recent history of graffiti and how it started, like Wild Style and Style Wars, and Infamy, Getting Up, you know, a bunch of different graffiti documentaries that you can go and watch here on YouTube if you want. The links are in the description. This guy RASKO, I really like his work. Mostly works in abandoned buildings, so he's not really pissing people off, as far as I know. But his works are really, really good. And yeah, like, he's extremely creative in his style. Yep, I've done some time lapse with pictures. Oh, it takes forever. I've also done some stop motion in my day, so oof. Yeah. Yeah, and nowadays, you know, 60 frames per second. Yeah. That's 60 pictures per second. It's insane. So let me see if I can. I'm just gonna scrub to where he like actually gets close to finished. Like, this is a really nice piece. Where's the finished shot? Probably around here somewhere. There we go. Like, look at that. The colors are beautiful. Very vibrant. And then, of course, he goes around and he tags a bunch of stuff. And here's another piece by him. I'll skip ahead on this one, too. Just speed it up a little. Because the effect is amazing. Because it's all just black and white and gray. Look at that. It looks so shiny. So shiny and clean. And it's just paint on the wall. Stop motion is absolutely brutal, Boo Peep. Absolutely brutal. So yeah. And then there's another guy, one more little video clip I want to show you. There's a guy on YouTube, the Graffiti Wanderer. As far as I know, he doesn't paint, or if he does, he's never let anyone know that he paints. But he just does like walking tours of places where there's graffiti. And he goes and he hunts it down, and he does videos like this. And they're kind of cool. If you just want to see what's out there, you know, yeah. Box letters, a little bit more style there, and then move over, a little bit more style. So that's the kind of thing, like, if somebody did like a box letter one, you know, sometimes box letters can be considered like a full piece, but most of the time they're not. So if you have something that's better and looks nicer than that, and you can do that over it, you're usually, that's the kind of thing, like, you can go over it. Now, not every time you see a big piece of a name and there's writing on it, that doesn't always mean it's scratched out. Sometimes, you know, people will rewrite their own name inside of it so that you know what the bigger one says. Or, you know, they'll put the names of other people, friends, people in their crew, you know. So, there's always that. So yeah, he makes videos like this. There's, as far as I've ever seen, there's never any talking. It's just him walking around, the sound of the world, and images of graffiti. So check them out. Check all these people out. And yeah, go into the description. There's a whole bunch of links. So let me go back to my thing here. And this is pretty much what we're looking at. You know, we're pretty much done here. Is there anything you could think of I could add to it to make it a little better? The cats could use a little bit of highlighting. The pumpkin, the jack-o'-lantern could probably use a little highlight here and there. But yeah, this is what we did. We made a cute little Halloween piece. A nice little illustration. Yeah. And I'm starting to get into my own music again. Will this even work on this? No. I need to be... Maybe I have to be on this one. This was everybody's favorite song from last week. If I can get it to work. So, I don't know if that's too loud. It might be too loud. So, okay, so we finished our little project here, and it's fun, it's cute, it was worth doing, but it's nothing special. It's just something to pass the time while we had our little discussion. I definitely got to put a little bit more work into the discussion part, because yeah, the stuff I had planned, you know, in your head you think about it and it seems like it's going to take, you know, it's going to take me a half an hour to cover this, and then it takes 17 seconds. Thank you, 3 tentacles. 3 tentacles forward, Ag. Your name gets me. I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it. It's just, it's a tongue twister. Thank you, Clark Fine Art. Yeah, it's cute. Definitely, like, because, like, you know, cats, they're always like, leave me alone, or they're like right in your face. There's never an in between. Yeah, the distractions aren't that bad, because that's the point. The point of this show is discussion, and you know, you actually help keep the talking going. I mean, if you've seen my regular art streams, which are Tuesday at what a bad place to call, which are Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Every week, almost every week. I try for every week, but sometimes I don't make it. In the last couple of weeks, I've been working on this, and we'll be hopefully finishing this up next week, and then we'll have a Halloween stream the week after that. So, yeah. So I hope you all had a good time. I hope you learned something. I hope I was able to teach you something. that you didn't know. And now I have to start thinking about what we're going to do next month. Like I said, these things take a lot of planning. You got to download all this content. You got to download the videos. You got to, so that you can play them without commercials and without YouTube being stupid and throwing ads up in the middle of your show when you're not even allowed to have ads on your channel. If you have any questions about anything that I said, or any more questions that weren't about things about graffiti or that kind of thing, or art in general that I did not answer or whatever, leave them in the comments, and I answer every single one of my comments. Even if you say, hey, good job, I'm gonna hit you back. So I read them all, I answer them all. That's the way I work. So thank you all for being here. I guess we're gonna call it quits now. Let me go right back here so you can one last look at the little drawing. You know what? Let me go this one. Hey, look at that. I had a whole thing and I forgot it was there. And for some reason I have no camera on this one. Where is my camera on this one? There it is. That's where it's supposed to be. Okay, yeah. So, thank you for being here. I really do hope everyone enjoyed it, and, hit the buttons, do the things, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And my button didn't work. Hey, what's up, everybody, and thanks for watching. First off, a big thanks to my moderators, Clark Fine Art and D. Lynn Creative Arts. Links in the description. Go check them out. They're great. They really help out by keeping the chat lively and in order. But don't go anywhere just yet. There are other ways you can help support my channel, like checking out my Patreon, as others have, where you can follow for free or select a tier that fits your needs. You can hop on over to my website where you have access to my original arts as well as prints, and even check out the merch store where new stuff is added now and then. If you'd like to check out more of my stuff, you can do so by checking out some videos over here, or you can subscribe by clicking the thing here. And of course you can hit the buttons and do the things. YouTube loves it when you hit the like button, the subscribe button, ring the bell, and share it to all of your social medias. You rock, you're all awesome, and together we make great art. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.